I knew they was going to try and swap a sister. So because I knew what was coming, I smelled him down with a birthday. I kai, I jabli my present. Afterwards, I accelerator my Mazda 2 and I'm going straight to Honeydew police station. And I went, I give you go police stationing. I was like, I want to open a case of fraud against my boyfriend. He done stole my dough. I remember it was a lady, police officer. What taking chicken? I don't know if she was wise or lazy. But at that stage, I'm seeing red though, so don't nobody care, right? I'm seeing red. She's like, listen, no shot also like to this. She was like, my sister Ushio. She was like, my sister Ushio. Meeting is awfully care, sisters. Like, you know. She's like, Ushio, because Basadi, I hampi. How about the cases of domestic violence against the boyfriend, Lady Ing. But the next day, but drop the case because I reconciled the so, Ushio, what like Casey against boyfriend, how who's the intellect? Because I not fit a motor drop a case. Hey, shares numbers, Lorna. Like I said, I don't know if she was wise or lazy, but I've had police try to stop me from opening a case by negotiating for the perpetrator. That's why gender-based violence is so hectic in this country. Just let women open cases, okay? And if they want to drop them. Like it's your job. Anyway. The case against the boyfriends, I think, never drop the charges. And this woman literally essentially, from my friends. I didn't tell them. I get a accelerator Mazda 2. Calendar go Honeydew police station. I didn't tell them. I just went home. They expected one get high. But none get police station. They were gonna stop me. On some garable, you don't wanna do this because they were his friends too. The very thing I was trying to avoid. Always thinking, dude, if this guy does not give his life to Jesus, by the time he dies and goes to hell, he's gonna see how much God had his back. Like proper. Anyway, because loose cannon. Like I said, I be seeing redder. Anyway, whatever. Okay, police, poison din. Here's one team game. After Ushio, got tell like and I looked down as like this woman was busy talking to me. And then she was like, and then if Usa decided to case, sisters, since you've got a stop order from the bank and everything, case fraud. But just go sit down, Lapaya. I'm patient. Go sit down and think about what you want to do. And then, yeah, that's what's good. And then if you still want to open the case after like maybe Paula for 20 minutes, then we'll open the case. In that freezing police station. Hey, I was still seeing red and purple. So, because, I mean, like, what you gonna do? You know, in Clueless, movie LA, Clueless, Dion, Stacey Dash, her boyfriend, Murray, in the bathroom, was shaving Muruahai, and that was apparently a taboo. And she's like, what am I gonna do with you now? What am I gonna tell my grandchildren? And this guy was just like, it's the bomb! He was like, it's the bomb. He was just loving his haircut. And this chick just felt like so listless. She didn't know what to do with this dude that was out here shaving Muruahai. It was too much for her. She couldn't deal. It was just too much. Like, the guy was just shaving his hair at a party. And she was like, what am I gonna do with you now? What am I gonna tell my grandchildren? And this dude was like, it's the bomb. So because she was so frustrated and she didn't know what to do, and this guy just imagined that what he was doing was okay, she's like, I'm calling your mother. And Murray stands up and says, oh, don't call my mom. And so the thing that Dion wanted to stop was stopped by her essentially threatening with the mom. At that point, I pulled out all the stops. I was so listless. This guy I'm seeing purple and red. I've had to stop my car at the bank. I'm so angry, but I need justice. I need justice. And here's a police officer lady that out here asked me, Ushio. Ngoba ningazi ukuthi ngizofika la ngizodopa ama charges abafazi envula ama case against ama boyfriend akhona. I like don't know what to do. And then I'm me in myself mengazi ukuthi maybe I might not want to do this by not telling my friends, because I knew that they were going to stop me. I knew they were going to stop me. But I wanted justice. I wanted something to deal with Lona that made me feel so listless. So I was like, what am I going to do with you now? What am I going to tell my grandchildren? And this dude was still like, it's the bomb. This dude was still carrying on doing what under heaven he imagined he's gonna carry on doing. And he was telling me that what he was doing was the bomb. That's not that. I'm busy. Now that I've stopped my card, he can't use my money, but he's still not coming back home. I had spent Friday night without him home. That was already traumatizing enough for me. Naked quite enough. Saturday I didn't spend that shot. Dude, like what the heck? Like we broke up because of some stunt you pulled when I was at the first apartment. Now you're doing this and it's the second apartment. Like I keep saying drive women to a psychiatric hospital. You will wear a stray suit. They drive women insane. How so you're still very much in love with him. And he appears to not care. And the footy is into that he is in the center of doing are so extreme with such little rights to recourse for you concerning this thing. I was losing my mind because here it is that I couldn't open a case because I mean that was an act of insanity to a certain extent, though not because you are a criminal. But I mean, if at all I'm case and I just stop my card and I demand that he pay me back my money, what's gonna happen then from there? Listen, I'm too angry. Something needs to give. So I called his mom. I was sitting at the police station and I'm like, even the police lady doesn't want me to open a case, or she is counseling me to consider it deeply before I carry on. So I phoned the mom because I knew the mom loved me. And I was like, Ma, a cool like 2.5 so far and counting. I had to stop my bank card. And right now I go police station and go bula case. Como swarisa. Nyombo pizza ma. Mina nyombo pizza. Nyombo. The mother's like, I'm sorry. Like, shit, the mother begged me a shame. The mother begged me so much. I've already got one child in prison. I can't have another child in prison. Please don't open a case. The mother, I knew the mother would talk me down. But I knew that this guy's family needed to find out what the heck he did to me. Abantu I had to know. Because where am I going to get justice if I can't open a case and if I don't have a recourse? If I need something. So like Dion in Clueless. What am I going to do with you now? What am I going to tell my grandchildren? It's the bomb. That's what Murray is saying. Until Dion is like, I'm calling your mother. I'll call his mother. And I cried to the mom. And the mom satiated my indignation because now I finally felt seen and heard, and I knew that he was gonna get a talking to from Abantu Bagibo. They were gonna stage an intervention bamhlase ngoba angikwazi ukuyombophisa lo Satan. So ke ha ka long wa kwa ko ha bona ke ha batho kwa ha bona ba tlo re mara o tlo utswetsa cherry tshelde jwang yingaw ayohlazwa nje ayohlazwa phambi kwabantu bakibo. Then on that day and then after talking to the mom on the phone, okay, fine. Because I mean, like, what am I supposed to do with all this? I let it go. I didn't drop the charges. I didn't open the case at all. Anyway, and I dropped the case. I went home, and the guy came back Sunday night. Because I he has to go to work on Monday. Yeah. Wabuya Sunday night. And Sunday by then I was already calm like an ocean. I was calm like a river. Because at that stage I was like, dog, pelile. Of course. Like, do we? It's over. So what's the point of fighting, throwing toys out the cot and everything? So by the time you rocked up on Sunday or gone, I was like, fancy to see you here. Anyway, so Monday, first thing, I'm calling the landlord and I'm canceling the lease. Giving him 1 month's notice. So I guess you're going back home to your parents' house again. And so too am I going back to my mama's house again. Yeah, it's over. Okay. Thank you, son. And then I gave him the keys of the apartment. And I went to go and live with my mom for the rest of that month. Cordially broke up. Because I knew sure. I mean, listen, you've done all this, right? You've done all this. So I told her, and I was like, and another thing, I went to the police, right, to open a case, and I was stayed. Look at you go. By Lepone, so that doesn't even know you. How favored are you, dude? Yeah, and your mom, right? But I guess you already know about the mom because she probably called you. Type establishment thing. And they stopped me from opening a case. So, Abuti, you better pay me back every last cent. And if you don't, that case that I stopped myself from opening. No, I didn't stop myself. Listen, the world had your back. That case that I didn't open, and this time you're gonna go Tanyane and you're gonna sit next to your brother, Tanya. Do you understand what I'm saying? So he paid me back my money, and I don't even think he waited to the end of the month to pay me back. I think it was quite immediate. So what the heck that was about? I think we don't know. But like I dumped him. we broke up, and I told him that if you don't pay me back my money, I'm taking you to the police. That which I didn't do, I'm gonna do. But tonight I'm sleeping at my mom's house pretty much for the rest of the month until the lease is over. I'm going to call the landlord. We are going to together have to sign the cancellation of the lease since it's in both our names. And then whatever. And he just abided by it. He accepted. And for the rest of that month, wahlala in the apartment. And in that time, I was that done. I was so done. I thought I was done. I thought it was over. I really did not think that we were ever going to get back together again. So when this one dude that had always wanted me, since I struggled so much later, I'd always said to myself that ex-boyfriend, the way that I was so attached to that guy and the way that I was so attached to relationships, I cannot leave him successfully and stay gone if I don't leave him for someone else. So since there was already somebody that was like, I want her, I then gave that guy a chance. And the guy that I gave a chance was not the one that wanted me. That one, it was just too close for comfort. It was too close for comfort. Mara, before even giving that guy a chance. Okay, so I went to go and live with my mom, right? I moved back home during that month. And the next weekend, we went to Soweto, Park, whatever. All right, my girls and I, the guys too were there. My boyfriends were and because umngani wa my cousin's baby daddy, he decided to just start stringing along to every little event that we had. He just started hanging out around us because he wanted to be close to me so that he could just go in for the kill. Chick is vulnerable and she actually got a boyfriend that's messing up hard. So I want to be there to be like, can you come into my arms? So he started hanging out with us a whole bunch. So the next weekend, I called at this like pool party, like also wait, type establishment thing, and he was like just kind of a bit of a leech all up in my girl, but I didn't like him. I didn't want him. Mara, he was there for the very purpose of exploiting the situation from my boyfriend, but we were broken up at this stage, but I wouldn't consider that particular dude. But as like the days of that particular month would progress, the other dude that I was like keeping at an arm's length because it was too close for comfort, it was some dude that I met in the learnership program at Liberty Life. He was like 2 years older than me, and he was always just sending me emails, and I didn't like him because he had hair, nana little dreads, and I got him really on guys, right? And but I always thought he was cute. However, during this season that I knew sure I was pining over my ex-boyfriend and I breaking up, I was pining. He called me again. He contacted me, not called me, but contacted me again on email, whatever that was his mode of contacting me, Facebook. On Samio, what's up, what's good? Not that I was I lamenting against my ex? I ain't sure I was an open book. I was probably putting status updates that made it clear that I'm going through a war with my boyfriend. And he contacted me. Everybody was just actually exploiting that particular situation. Okay? Why get contact? And when he contacted me this time around, I was like, listen, the only way that I'm going to be able to successfully leave my ex-boyfriend is if somebody else replaces him. So while I didn't necessarily like this guy Walker Liberty when I was in the learnership, I did think he was cute, but I didn't like guys with hair, like at all. Like and Megan my dreadlocks, right? And indeed the other one, my cousin's boyfriend's friend. That's not the dreads per se, but a little tuft. I just liked my men cleanly shaven, okay? Pretty much the opposite of Murray and Clueless. I liked my men with just no hair. And I just didn't like hair, whatever. I had a preference, and I still have that preference today. Anyway, whatever. So, not that he would have stood a chance because of the close proximity. This other dude, Megan my dreads, I remembered him getting dreads. From the learnership program. And I was like, this guy got me like I don't like hair on men. I don't like hair on men. I don't like hair on men. But he was trying to holler for the longest time since we were in the learnership. Nang bata this guy. And this time around, how he would always just get a hold of me again was because the learnership program, Yako Liberty Life, when we all branched out to go and work everywhere else after Efela, we kept in touch, and every so often we would send group emails to each other and some, yo guys, what's good, what's up, what's happening, right? And this guy was always in the group chat, and he would isolate my name, look for it in the email list, find it, put it in the toolbox, and send me an email and say, hey Garba, how you doing? Like, just here, that's how I realized that he liked me, because he didn't quite make it clear when we were in the learnership program that he liked me, but after it ended, he started to become a little bit braver to holler at me, Giliwan. So I was like, oh, this guy likes me. And I would respond on some, hey, what's good? Hey, you doing? How you doing? What's good? And he was on that tip trying to get with me for years, okay? And I would just give my shapega, ach man. And finally, I stopped achmanning him. I was like, I always did think he was cute, and I had to be with another guy in order to leave that guy successfully. I can't go back to that. What the heck? Like I can't go back to that. What in the world did this oak just do? Like, listen, he committed an abomination. All right? There's no going back to that. But I need strength to leave. Once I'm addicted, Zinjandini, that's why you brought me back to my ministry. Unless I find something else to replace your nasty behinds, I'm coming back. But I'm gonna leave. Just like with my ex-boyfriend, I'm gonna succeed. Anyway, whatever. So I was like, okay, maybe this guy can kick my ex to the curb. So I was like, but I hate dreads, I hate hair on men. I don't know, where in the world did that guy work? It definitely was not in Braamfontein, because at that stage I was still working in Braamfontein. It was not in Braamfontein, like, but nonetheless, he somehow came to my offices during lunch. Oh yeah, no, he used to work in Parktown. Parktown. No, yeah, he used to work in Parktown, and he drove his own car. So coming to where I worked at lunch was not a big deal. It was not too much of a drive. Mega Simmons at Parktown. Yeah. So that's how he came to see me go office type establishment thing. I responded to one of the emails that I always responded to his emails. I was never rude, but he would always just email me from inside a group chat and just isolate me alone. And this time around, I decided to just like give him a shot because I was in the middle of a breakup and I had to stay gone. I was staying at my mom's house. My boyfriend was staying at our old apartment for the duration of time that the lease was finishing off that month. Yeah, notice. And I did not want to get back. Hey man, I didn't want to get back together with this guy next week. Because what the heck did he just do? Okay? It has to end. So I gave this guy a chance. He contacted me. And when he contacted me, I was like, okay. I will give an always lang. Maybe this could help me overcome something I have to get out of. It's toxic. So I was like, what's up? And then he was like, we talk. What do you do now? Oh, I'm at Nedbank. I'm working at this call center. I'm working in Parktown as this thing. He was like a supervisor over a similar environment, like a call center. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Where? He's like, go Parktown. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's not far from where I work. I'm in Braamfontein. Go Bram Park. And he was like, can I then come see you just a little bit? Just to say hi. I mean, it's been a minute, like since the learnership, right? It's been a minute. Can I come see you guys lunch? Just briefly. I mean, it's like literally around the corner from where I work. I was like, okay. Was at lunch. He came, this dude, during me lunch. He rocked up during my lunch hour. Yeah. And this time around, I was like, oh, congratulations. Sisi nanare papa ting matsoho. Go mega kundila Madrid. I didn't ask him. I didn't want to offend him. I didn't want to insult him. I did not have a preference for dreadlocks at all. I hated him. But I was like, but I always thought he was cute. Maybe I'll just overlook the dreads. I don't know. Yo, I figure if you see me, fuck this car, got out of there. And I was waiting in the parking lot. Wapuma, like this oak. Yo. Wapuma, this oak. Yo. Don't like I'm not lying to you. Okay? I'm telling you right now, listen up. He looked like Denzel Washington. He looks, still to this day, I think. Why would he stop looking like him? Was like a young version of Denzel. I'm telling you now. That guy was so cute. He was so cute. I thought he was cute in the learnership. Like, remember back in the day when Somla Dandala shaved his dreads? What a steamy hot thing he became. This dude was like on a Somla tip, except better. Because frankly, he slayed to Somla. He was so cute. And he had filled out. You know how guys are so skinny when they're younger? And then they suddenly just like eat a little bit more beef. He had filled out, so nanale a little bit more girth, kamele, and unapere office attire. I mean, had I ever seen that dude in office attire? Because I mean, learnership being, we were always no, I'd never seen him in office attire, because in the learnership, we were always in school, right? We had a component of school, and then we had a component of office work, and some of us were based in Braamfontein. In Braamfontein at the head office called Liberty Life, while others of us were based in the branches, and I was based in Randburg at the consultancy there. So I never got to see him wearing office gear because he was in one of the other like locations that they would put learners in to get on the job training. And so the only times that I had only ever seen this guy was classing in the classes where we were being taught wealth management, some little building in downtown Joburg, that we used to go to for these lectures, these lessons. So I'd only ever seen him in casual gear and like jeans, lidikipa and whatnot. I'd never seen him rocking like suits and everything, like I'd never seen him like that. And that day he was coming from work, of course, like it was a lunch hour. And I was like, yo, he looks so good in a suit. Well, he wasn't wearing a whole suit with like the jacket, but type thing. I was like, he looks so good. He removed the dreadlocks. Congrats, siyabongela bhuti wami. So indoda manje neyinwele, they had to go. Le inwele zakho eziningi that make you spend way too much time in front of the mirror had to go. Look at you go. Yo, ahlaha nenkare letsatsi was just beaming behind him. He looked so good. He looked so good. I was like, my goodness, ukudile, this guy, and he's filled out and he looks good in office gear. He looks really good in office gear. Of course, I didn't say any of that. I just remember thinking, he looks so good now, yo. And we hugged and everything and briefly spoke and chatted. Like hard skipped a beat, crush out your establishing, talk a little bit briefly. And then I was like, this is it, maybe. Like, yeah, I'm gonna leave my boyfriend for this guy. I'm gonna hop into this now. This is it. This is my guy. Khalampata anyway. Hopefully everything about me and he's been pursuing me for a minute. I'm giving this dude a shot. So from that moment, I gave that other guy a shot, and because I agreed to give him a shot, he just listened. He stepped up to the plate, okay? Wangi Cheka listened every single day. Oh, yes. He came here after work every day without fail. Every single day without fail. He didn't necessarily drop me off at home because I still had lectures at the end of each, not so much each day, but I traveled by myself. I took taxis and whatnot. Though he lived in my he lived in my general neighborhood, like Rodiport is huge. He stayed in Mogale City and I was in Wilgehevel, but it's not in my neighborhood, but it's part of Rodiport, type establishment thing. So he could have picked me up. And if I dated this guy, at some point, he was going to pick me up at work, drop me off at home. And in the mornings, I might have had to stop commuting because my ex-boyfriend, I need a driver's license and anything. That's not good. And I did not have a car either at that stage. I make a commute, that type of establishment thing. This guy would have been the first guy that I'd ever dated that would have like driven me all over these Johannesburg streets. When you're young, on the come up and everybody's still like acquiring assets, such things as those matter. Uthi ndoda engakwazi ukupicka up, drop it and whatnot. And this dude had a car and every day he used to check, especially considering Megahlala in the general Rediport area. And he had his own apartment, everything that my ex-boyfriend just like, didn't, right? By himself. With his mom, whatnot. Like I was willing to accommodate him. Like the woman that he married, that he used to give me grief with. Ooh, Stefe. That's not mad, precisely because of all of these logistics. He was walking around crawling very slowly for a man. When I got too much time for a man to do anything. But I was willing to help him grow. Do you understand? Maraha Musadi Ali willing to write out a lot of things that you as a man should be doing but are not. And you're like that. When a woman is willing to support you in spite of those issues. Like that, dog. Shem, no. So I was like, wait a dude that I'm carrying around like he's my child. So this dude, he smelled good. He was handsome. He was a decent oak. He was single. He was besotted. So he was gonna love me. And he had a kickstart in life as a young man that made sense. And this guy was younger than my ex by 2 years because my ex 4 years. So even the fact that he was younger than my ex-boyfriend was just problematic for me. It's like, younger guys are just doing better than you, dude. Like, what's going on? And in the learnership program, he's worked really hard ever since then. And now he's doing much better even than me at this stage. This is what I need in a man. So I gave him a chance and I broke his heart. I'm dead. Still to this day, I feel sad about that. I broke that guy's heart because he was honest, he was decent, and he would have loved me. But I just wasn't ready, it appeared. Or Lumun Law already made me to make sure I can't be with anybody else. The were all up in my grill like white on rice. So this guy I gave a shot, and for 3 weeks, I get it the first week, I was like pretty much like single and nothing was going on. We weren't even calling each other. The situation was that bad. It was so taboo. My ex knew he messed up. He didn't even try to get back to me. He didn't. Because you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. All right. The second week was when then I saw this dude like ninja like Ilwana keyboard warrior on Facebook, and then he contacted me again. And then even though Megan Madrid's ngati whatever, we'll see. Maybe I'll be okay with them. Only for me to realize Uti ever since then wakundi. And so now he was just like working out, and I gave him a shot. Wangi cheka. We went out on like a few dates, restaurant, bought pizza, whatnot. Saw each other almost every day. Like almost every day. Like at my lectures, I would go to lectures in the evenings and then be back home. He would come and see me because the guy was there. He loved me. So he was willing to take himself out of his element just to see me, even if it's for an hour. Before Samba Sonke. He was anyway, whatever. I really liked him. And after 3 weeks of dilly-dallying, ntse re lo ja di-pizza. I went to his place, where he stayed ko Mogale City. I slept over, didn't have sex with him. I couldn't, it just felt off and wrong. I couldn't and I wouldn't either, like proper. I was not going to sleep with this guy. If at all I was gonna stay with him, at least not until I was safely, really truly out of the relationship with my ex-boyfriend. I was just not gonna do that, right? But I allowed myself to spend the night with him, and it was in spending the night with him that I was like, like it just felt so entirely wrong. So I broke his heart, and he said that he saw it coming, that whatever excitement and euphoria he might have felt in the 3 weeks we were low-key together, he knew that it was going to end because of just the way Ndefela things were so tumultuous and how unresolved our issues were with my ex-boyfriend at the time. He knew, but for him it was like, maybe, just maybe. And I told him after the night where I spent at his apartment that this thing, we can't do it, like, because my issues with him, my ex, are not resolved. He was like, I could see, I could tell, I saw it coming. But anyway, it's cool. I was happy for this time. I guess, it is what it is. And after that, Shami never tried again. All of his attempts to be with me all throughout the years, uvele was yegela, because I think the pain was too extreme. So wangegela, he let me fly like a bird. And this guy, Yazi, this dude, hey, the other guy, the way he was so responsible. He was, I get it, in 1982. He was 2 years older than me. At that stage, I'm like, what, 22? I'm like 23, right? 23, 24. And he is 25, 26. He had friends that were in their 30s, most of whom were married. And during the time when I was hanging out with him, one weekend, we went to a braai at one of these boys' houses, and the company there involved wives and their husbands. He was the only guy his age there and the only one unmarried. This guy was a 25, 26-year-old dude that had friends in their 30s that were married. That was safe for me because he was mature enough to have friends that were that much older and who were married. So this was not a guy that would have strung me along, taken 20,000 years to pay lobola. There was no influence around him. After telling him, you need to sow your royal oats, boy. You need to do this, boy. Hey, boy. That boy. Nah, there was nobody talking smack into his ear. If anything, if at all, he got steady with a woman. His boys would have been happy when he said, listen, I'm thinking of proposing. I'm thinking of getting a ring. Chera on. And abafaz bakhona, angitholanga ne-attitude from the women. Because while I was much younger than them, they didn't pass me shade for being, because usually married women are cagey against younger women who are single. But they were not giving me that cagey stuff because I was there with, I guess, my boyfriend that was also much younger than their husbands. So for them, it was like, boyfriend that thing. Is a single woman. So they were warm towards me. They embraced me as potentially umakoti ozoba mushalana, amidst us, sizomamngela, siyomfundisa ama-ropes, abafazi that had children and everything. I went to a braai of older people and I just felt like this is safe, dog. Lang's alright. He's not gonna run me around in circles in a maze. He's not gonna do that. Hey, Maraya fell. Because I went back to my little infant. I did. I went back to my infant because I wasn't done with him. I went back to my child because I wasn't done. Nashia, a stable environment. Ngoba. It just didn't feel right to pumara. Either mengle trap back, imiti, or abafazi, when they love guys, hakuna ration, hakuna reason, hakuna soundness. There's no sobriety in thinking about a man. Like, I'm presently watching Smallville because I went back to watching Netflix during this time because I had nothing else to twiddle my fingers and pass time using. And Lana Lang over there ended up with Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor is evil, we understand. He is evil like no man's business, we understand. He is the arch villain in the show. Lana comes from Superman, otherwise known as Clark Kent, who dilly-dallied her and ran her around the bush and was dishonest and would not come clean with his true feelings about her and would not also confide in her about his abilities, his superhuman powers. Until Lana just felt so distanced from a guy that she wanted to love. And at some point she asked him, tell me you don't love me. And Clark thoroughly said to Lana, I don't love you. And on the other side, Lana in her vulnerability and her sorrow, Lex Luthor sonke lesikhathi mekamfuna. Akhona nako kerele one where Lex ever lied to her and how he feels about her. Akhona nako kerele one where Lex did not pull through for her, actually not come through for her. He was always there when she needed him. And she actually genuinely developed feelings for Lex Luthor, and so therefore it's not like the chick nasamorad. It's not like she's with a dude that she doesn't feel anything for. And just how much more reliable for Lana Lex was. Even though Lex is an arch villain, I remember just thinking, okay, if you extract the arch villain status of Lex Luthor in the show Smallville and really just regard what a woman needs in a man, if you extract what a woman needs from a man in order to truly be stable, this is exactly where Lana needs to be. But you see, she's got feelings for Clark, and now she's also got feelings for Lex. She's got feelings for both guys. And however, it appears her feelings are stronger for Clark Kent than for Lex, because Clark gives first love. Clark is the one that she really wants to be with, but Clark at this particular juncture and at this point is childish in comparison to Lex. That is the error that women make when it comes to men. And I remember thinking, listen, insofar as you've got feelings for a man and you're not faking loving him, who you love the most ought be irrelevant if this guy is unreliable. Because who wants to have the kind of marriage that I had a relationship with my ex-boyfriend? You would do anything for them, you would bend over backwards. When he is in his moods, his modes, his whatever season of just acting like he doesn't love you, reverse psychology, I don't love you, just so you would leave him alone because he doesn't want to come clean with something. If Indoda is going to play those kinds of games and keep on hurting you like that, what you need as a woman is stability. Umuntu that's going to take care of a family, umuntu that's going to be there when you need him, a person that's going to be willing to drop everything to be there for you when you cry, and a person that's also going to protect you by any means necessary. I am drawn to Lex Luthor. No, not because he's a powerful man with money, but because he would never let Lana stay in harm's way. He's full of protection. And he's always there when she needs him. And insofar as she's got feelings for him, that is the safest man that a woman can ever be with. The dishonesty factor, that's something that we actually need to be addressing. That's where godliness comes in. Indoda that is criminal, you can't allow yourself to be with that. Indoda that has got shoddy, like, random Machiavellian things that he's doing. Yeah, of course, no. If God gives you sirens and alarm bells about that, weekends, one day, you're gonna go and bury the guy. And, there's something that I like to say in my ministry, is sometimes, not all the time, a lot of times, men, but let's get impama, but let's get uppercut, but let's get gender-based violence, and but let's get, what do you call this thing? Cheating, right? Infidelity. There are some gangster men, as in evil, cause they are experimenting on human body parts in a basement. But when it comes to their women, are so good with women. Insofar as they're not abusive of women, they're good with women. But only insofar as these women don't mind either. Insofar as these women either don't mind that they're crooked, and so I don't care where you make your money, baby, insofar as you make that money. And so protect a gangster or abazi like Lana Luthor, like Lana Lang, that's about to marry Lex. I'd say benefit of the doubt. So either the women are completely in the dark about the criminal activity of the man, or they don't care where you make the money insofar as you make it. In these events, it's problematic because ultimately it was besuka inja in prison. But if criminal men, gangster men, I find, if they're not abusive towards women, but are one of those, I love my mom and I love my wife, they're so much better at being husbands than regular Joes in these streets. And I think one of the biggest reasons why that's a thing is because thanks to their criminality, they tend to be very strong materially. And so they also tend to not be insecure about the strength of women or the money of women, because they tend to always have way more than women. And so for those reasons, they're able to be men truly without holding back, because the thing that tends to make men want to hold back from women is feeling overwhelmed in their manhood against concerning these women. So imali make them so strong and so powerful and so respected in the world that they don't have a need to actually be passing a woman any kind of reverse psychology shade. She will feel protected, she will feel ensconced, she will feel loved, and he will not hold back, but he will be igenza. And I remember just saying to God, how do you get the kind of love that a gangster can give a wife, but without him being a ginza? Because literally they're able to love women really well, but only because they're so strong that they can never feel insecure in the climate of a woman. They can never feel insecure, but they've got a catch-22. Either the women that they're with are just gangster criminal in themselves, and so they're willing to let a man be a criminal insofar as in Jefela, you keep Gucci on my back, or and this guy's on thin ice. Because the day that she finds out that he is a whole Pablo Escobar Uzoham, I don't want my man dishonest, but we billionaire, of course he's dishonest, girl. Duh. A billionaire or scone, squeaky clean, making like a squeezy toy. The way he's so squeaky clean, no baby. They don't exist unless they're in Christ. For some strange reason, some of them, they're able to love women in a way that is satisfactory. And I remember with Lex Luthor, who is Ikenza, that's hiding his true character from Lana, but he is so much better able to love her than Clark ever can. He is so much better. He is so much better able to this chick that even though Yazi Mina that he's an arch villain in the show, I'm like, Lana is better off with Lex Luthor than she ever can be with Clark Kent because Udalama games and this chick. And imagine men like Clark Kent, when the chick then goes on to be with another guy, that's when they start to feel possessive of her and then intervene and interject and mess up and be like, Kota, you're mine. Baba jealous, Baba possessive. Mara kwena o no hold up back. Kwena wa reverse psychology. Kwena wa go ghosta. Kwena wa go respond. Wa go say respond to the DM. Your dog. The WhatsApp. For 3 hours, for 4 hours, for weekend kafela. Kwena wa go ba namby pamby. After passing a chick shade. And kwena wa go bua maka. Go cheering. And say most fatlhong sa hae o ga o morato morato. You're the one that did that. So when then a woman ends up in the arms of another guy, mo tlogela mara ke bona ba dulang ha mosadi ona jona o setsana le monno mo. That then don't want to let this chick rest. They don't want to let her chill in that new relationship. Ebe ba tlo claim hore this guy's gonna kill you, this guy's dangerous, or this guy's evil. You could not do basic things like care for me, protect me. You could not be honest with me. You refuse to let me see that you love me. You refuse to freaking propose marriage, dog. Like, how many years have progressed? Within a week. I dated a gangster that proposed marriage to me within a week. Willing to propose within big. When I do let 5 years ago, so proposing, what the heck is going on over there? Because you were with me for 5 years, even though you would never ever lay a hand on me, neither dubula me. You didn't propose. And you acted like Moya and I was like, God, how do you get midway mark? Sweet spot. Yeah, a dude that is going to be everything you need in a man, but not dishonest. He's not going to be so insecure that he's going to hold back and pass you shade and not propose and act like he doesn't love you when he does and take 20 years to respond and be dishonest about his feelings. Like, how are you gonna get that in a man that also is not a little crazy mutineer against all of society? Jesus Christ. Because it appears they are either amakensa or really bad boyfriends. And really, both extremes are just too taxing for women. Both extremes land women in harm's way. Other than Ujesu, also a well-rounded dude to a lady. So who is this? My boyfriend, right? The woman of the Lana Lang phenomenon. This here would be like advice that I would ever give to women. Stop trying to marry the man that you have the strongest feelings for. Marry the man that you have feelings for at all. That's important. But he is every comfort and every stability that you could ever find in a man. Marry stable men insofar as you have feelings. Do not go for a rush of passion. Because they will drive you up walls. They will make you want to pluck your hairs out. They will make you call their mom. They will make you go to the police station and open a freaking case and then drop it. They will make you cry at a baby shower. They will make you cry at a baby's party. Only the only one there whose husband is not around. Stable men that might not be your biggest love are the only ones that will always show up. So the only thing that a woman needs to ascertain is that they have feelings at all. Don't marry a man you don't love, okay? But don't insist on marrying a man that you've got passions for that are from here to Timbuktu, because those guys are the ones that'll steal your car, that'll spend mali la emkakweni all over the show, that'll hurt you, that'll make a fool out of you, that'll leave your curtains open and your windows and papa utibole on the kitchen counter and not be home and talk to you with a slur about they will be the ones that you break up with and you have to go. You will break up to a point of moving out of the house that you stay in and still get back together with Indota that you can't be like, listen, this can't work. How do you get back together with a guy? How do you get back together with a dude that does that to you? And it is these guys that you have these very strong feelings for that tend to indeed have these feelings back for you enough for at some point have displayed they can do better but just don't. My ex-boyfriend, Steffi, I was always calling him Gabo 11, 12. And as the first breakup, where that apartment where the Monash student was staying later on afterwards, that first breakup, the issue was the Steffi, other things that he was doing in his drunken stupors, right next to Ndabuti, the first apartment that we lived in together. The lease ended after 3 months. Then, because I couldn't stay gone from him, because you get back together with a person that you moved out of the apartment. I got back together with him. And the apartment that I moved back home. My mom, however, was still dinnering me and I was still dinnering her. I still couldn't live with my mom. But I still felt like I wasn't strong enough to live by myself financially. my ex-boyfriend and I agreed again to get an apartment together. And this time he was like, I won't do it again. This time I'll be better. I won't hurt you like that again. I promise you I'm gonna be better this time. Okay. So we then got a second apartment and I figured that he wouldn't do this to me again. Why would he? I mean, the first time was like an epic fail, dog. Like 3 months. You could only do 3 months? What? And in that 3 months you endured me to the kind of stuff that women that have got cheating husbands always endure. Hey, are you hungry, honey? Did you eat, baby? Let me hang up your coat. Because he came home at 3 a.m. Check out to be acting neutral and she's about to stab a dude. I was like, how are you going to endure me through married woman trash? A young woman. Anyway, what if after that you would imagine dude is going to straighten up, dude is going to fly right. And indeed for a season, it worked out at that apartment. Like our first apartment, we only had a housewarming. The second one, we had a few brides, dog. Like a few brides. Like as an abantu bavakashile. I had my 25th birthday party. I remember I was living there. Yeah, so I was 24. I was 24, 25. Yeah, I was 25. Hey, yeah, we were like getting along like a house on fire when we lived together at that apartment. We were. Ngati, he had, put his tail between and say, oh, we put it it appeared to be working out, and I'm saying, yeah. Ew. Nonsense. 6 months mark. It was too much. As in angnandaba if abantu bakho bayathagatha or izinja or wena uyinja angnanda. Mara what that dude did to me, uvetsinja fela a change a flip happen and I was like, obvious, this thing can't work. Why is that thing that he did? When you love a dude so much that you will allow yourself to move in with him again after that first incident, after that first situation. Yeah, coyotes and hyenas in the house. And of course, Istref and other things like this and that was the thing that finally put the nail in the coffin. There were other events. And then after that, like listen, this guy has shown that he cannot be your husband because you could not even live together for 3 months. Because you that girl with those weird boomerang antics, okay? Yeah, okay, fine. Shab, you're putting yourself in a position to endure that again, volume 2.0. Yes, I got back together with my ex so many times. We got back together after that event. But this time around when I got my own apartment, because I just could not live with my mom. I couldn't live with my mom. I refused to live with him and got my own apartment. And that was the only time that there was some kind of semblance of stability in our relationship. Because he was coming to see me, visit me only on the weekends. But I was living by myself during the week and I wasn't expecting him to come. And he was still staying at home with his parents. And that was the most stable season in our relationship. That shows you that you can't live with this man. Why didn't you leave? Why? It's basically on his timetable, on his clock. When I want to come and see you, I'll come and see you. But I can't live with you every day. Every day. And you still think which this thing's going to end up in marriage? Yes, the signs are always there. But that's the issue with loving a guy too much. Those are the issues with Uktanindoda way too much. Still to this day, I don't even know if my ex really loved me or if I was just really convenient for him. I have insecurities about that, but it doesn't matter because I'm through that. And you pass up somebody else where there was stability. The other guy, older, in their 30s with the wives and the kids. I had feelings for him. It's not like Ming Amtandi, it's not like Ming Hesha, it's not like Ming Forster, it's not like Ming Izienzisa. What I felt for him did not compare to what I felt to my boyfriend. So because I figured my emotions are stronger for a boyfriend yam. Yakdala, the ex, this must be it. But there was stability somewhere else. A lesson that came out of that, and listen, I find out my ex-boyfriends were monke, nabantu that I dated or didn't date, or abantu that I wasn't with, but that liked me. Bangithakathile ngiyabazi bonke. Ngabakhipha ngamabhonga ngamatswape ngembambo zabo, exposed la estradini, walking around ngekiss bayashaya ikitaza jive mangaqonganga. Ngibabonile bonke. Every last guy that ever put a spell on me, jealously, weirdly, freakishly, psychopathically, or entitledly, possessively. I was with them and then dumped them. Go fela identify in a lineup. Bonk. Anandoda kirele wana sikileng lawyer. Nkase shopping kampama haika dera ho riera his ugly head mojarateng ngamtumpa. I would find the muscles to dumpa a man and succeed. Lay waist. On the pavement, make him part of the tar, dog. Yabas bonk. That guy, what 3 weeks? When I went to Shem. Okole shipping. What he dreads, ababa hot. He bewitched me. That guy. Injury yakhe bemhlungu, I heard him, and yet ungiyekelile. Azange wangithinta ngithi with a single spell. That was a sign and a hint. That was a way out. That was an olive branch, and I didn't take it. Azange lawyer, so essentially he was never gonna dlesa me. Mengeke angivimbe in a relationship ngemithi. He wasn't gonna play me around like a puppet on a string. He wasn't gonna fry me like I was an egg on a stove. He was not going to manipulate me. So even though my feelings for him were not as strong as my ex-boyfriend, at the end of the day, my feelings for him would have been organic. And every time we reconciled after a fight, it would have been organic. It would have been out of his own sheer hard work. It would not have been spiritual manipulation. I was safe. So when I say stability in a man is the best thing that you can ever do for yourself or choose as a woman and stop running with feelings, it is. Because in the long run, in the long run, when you've got children now, what you need is reliability, you need responsibility, you need strength of character. You don't need passions. You don't need strong feelings. Because what are you going to do with strong feelings? Only making good ulo chakela 50 cents go prison. Answer who be 21 questions. What are you going to do with a guy umbesukayo? What are you going to do with a guy as well that you're now an angry baby mama too? With baby mama drama. What are you going to do with a guy that is cheating on you? A guy that can't be stable, that is still jolaring at you say high school. What are you gonna do with a man that has made you so mentally ill that now you are being checked into a psychiatric hospital every weekend? And you have a woman whose husband used to drive her up the wall so much that megahlala ase Port View life, megahlala ase psychiatric hospital, and umuntu megamdropa at the psychiatric hospital was the husband. Raising audacity ukumlethela amablom imbali gaba after msatwatenye achekwa into a psychiatric hospital because of the man mental illness. What is the point of being so passionately in love with a man that thanks to all those passions indeed umrata hure kapelule moya kinye point aninchile? What is the point if you're gonna end up in a psychiatric hospital? Yes, boyfriend yam, I told you how I got set free from Ntwana Leon. He didn't need them, but he used them, and he was acting a total fool. He was going completely awry at the very end of our relationship. We broke up. He was passing me shade. I felt so listless because I never was able to just get out. I was never able to just get out. I ended up crying out to Jesus, God help me! And then I was loosed from the bonds of, I guess, that soul tie right next to his sorcery, right next to Indawe Guti. I'm tired, I'll be fine. Listen, I'll be cool. And God made me cool. I came out because of Jesus, but listen, if at all, coming out of a guy takes Holy Spirit, the God of the universe. If you can't just walk away in the sheer volition of your human will, in your free agency, if your free agency is not enough to sever a tie from a dude that needs to be left, how dangerous is it? Because you're a happy baby cooing out here in the hands of a very doting mom. It's dangerous. I said we understand. You want to be cherished, and sometimes you feel as if though the girth or the strength of your feelings for a guy are what's going to cause you to be cherished, but you're the one that feels that strongly. He's not the one that is acting in tandem with those feelings. So your very girthy emotions for a man ought not be the thing that dictates sticking around over there. It ought be his strength of character, godliness. And there was godliness, which is why Lex Luthor is and that's why he was problematic for Lana Lang. Just in terms of how he was able to love her, he far outweighed, he slayed in the worst way Clark Kent, who was a better man emotionally. He was a better man in terms of character. He wasn't a villain. He was, if anything, he's the superhero in this instance. But what he did to Lana made Lex a lot more appropriate for Lana than him, because he was there for her in a way that a woman needs a man to be there for her. It's not about the girth or the weight or the power or the oomph of emotion that you feel for a man. What's important is to ascertain that you have feelings for him at all, because then it's not going to work if you don't have any feelings at all. You know what I'm saying? You got to have any feelings, and if you have any feelings, do not insist on being most in love with him to marry him.